Hey guys, my name's Skippy from Geek Hammer Gaming, and I'm here to do another faction focus for 10th edition Warhammer 40k. I'm excited to keep going through these. I've been having so much fun reviewing everything that's going to be happening to all my armies when the new edition comes out, and I cannot wait to see this one in particular because today we are talking about the Chaos Space Marines. Death to the False Emperor! I have a large CSM collection. I actually have them built up as Scourged. So it's the all Zinch faction of CSM. So I'm really curious to see how marks work in particular because I have a personal vested interest in marks being awesome. They're heretical cousins of the Imperial Space Marines, whereas they just decide to serve somebody else, the Chaos Gods. And in that vein, they are trying to not only destroy the Imperium, but allow Chaos to take over the material world. They're angrier versions of their cousins, and it shows in their rules. So let's go ahead and take a look at a few rules. So this is the Chaos Space Marines Army rule, Dark Pacts. First of all, I am actually going to read the flavor text on this because I love it so much. Beseeching the Chaos Gods with fanatical fervor, the profane champions of the heretic Astartes pray for diabolic boons, promising the vilest of offerings in return for their power. So the idea for this is the Chaos Space Marines call to the gods to bestow them power so that they may bring death and destruction in their name. So the way it works is if your army faction is all heretic Astartes, each time a unit with this ability is selected to shoot or fight, it can make a Dark Pact. If it does, select one of the following abilities for that unit's weapons to gain until the end of the phase. Lethal hits or sustained hits 1. So lethal hits is 6 to hit, auto wound. So really good if you're trying to punch up with your weapons. If you're out of bolters or trying to deal damage to like T5, T6 type things or even more. Really helps to get those auto wounds. Or sustained hit 1. If you're not really worried about dealing a lot of wounds, but you just need to get a lot of hits because you got to deal with all these models, sustained hits is for you because exploding sixes is always fun. So, but you get either one of those choices each time you shoot with a unit. You don't have to do it, but you can ask for that to get this rule added to your weapons. But each time a unit makes a Dark Pact, after it has resolved its attacks, it must take a leadership test. If that test has failed, the unit suffers D3 mortal wounds. I am such a fan of this because the way demons weapons for characters worked in 9th edition would be the same thing. You would, if you rolled a 1, you would basically not be able to control the weapon and it would hurt you and you would be able to attack with it. Now it's just I'm calling for the power, but it's not a limited thing of how many times you can do this as long as you have bodies to give up in the name of the Dark Gods. I am such a fan of this rule. It turned out so good. I like that I have the flexibility. That's something that I've noticed about this. The rules are simple, but they're giving you a lot of flexibility in how you play your army and giving you options in game, either pre-game, in-game. I cannot wait to see all the other factions because all these have turned out amazing so far. I'm such a fan. So now we're talking about some data sheets. We're looking at the Legionnaires right now. Now this is a lot of text. But what this data sheet is really showing you is the options that the Legionnaires have. So if you're looking at the top data sheet, this is actually the back of the data sheet on top, which is the back is going to be all your options for the unit. So the back of the card will show you what different weapons it could take, how many guys you can take, transports, it'll tell you what guys you can transport in it. It's got all the options for your unit. So it's really cool that it's all in the back of the sheet. So you can look over when you're building your army, you can decide what you want to take and what you can and what you can't. And then once you play the game, you only need the front half. That's where all the rules are. So the aspiring champion can take a bunch of different things. The champion's bolt pistol can be replaced with a bunch of different things. You can replace bolt guns with chain swords on all the dudes. You have a bunch of options there, a bunch of different special weapons you can take. And it also gives you the default loadout, which I really like. So that's something I liked in 9th edition, where it's like, here's your default loadout, and here's all your options for switching them out. Love it. So Legionnaires, they're much like their Space Marine cousins. They have pretty much the same stat line: 6-inch move, T4. 3+ save, 2 wounds, leadership 6, objective control 2. So actually the stat line is exactly the same as their intercessor cousins. Now, ranged weapons, the list is there. You guys can look at all the different weapons. I do like that the Balefire Tome actually gives you a psychic weapon now. So you actually get an option for a different gun, which I really like. And I'm hoping that the Zinch mark gives you some sort of ability to do something with that Psyker inside your unit. Because that is an upgrade you can take. You can take a Psyker in a Legionnaire's unit. So I love it. A bunch of different guns there. Nothing too crazy in here. The thing I do like is the Reaper Chain Cannon, which is a heavy weapon, so you get +1 to hit if you don't move. 8 attacks, 4+ to hit, string 5 AP, nothing, 1 damage. So you're just dumping buckets of dice. Sustained hits on this is like 2 extra hits on average. If you stand still, you're hitting on 3s. It's a good weapon. I like it. I think you'll be taking a lot of these. We do have the new stat line for the Accursed weapons, which is big, because the Accursed weapons in the last edition, they combined all the mid-range power weapons like power mauls, power swords, power axes into one profile, and they've done that again here too. So Cursed weapon is 4 attacks hitting on 3s, strength 5, -2, 1 damage. It's a pretty good attack profile for a basic power weapon. The chainsword we've also confirmed is 4 attacks hitting on 3, strength 4, -1, 1 damage. And the heavy melee weapon, which I think is like the big axe that they have access to in the Kill Team upgrade kit, or some other things that I'm not exactly thinking of, is 3 attacks hitting on 3, strength 8, -2, 2 damage. So far, I like a lot of their weapon options. They have a lot of different options, which is very good for a troop unit like this. So you can take them however you want. You want to be combat-y, you can just do all chainswords and melee weapons. You want to take all shooty weapons, you can do that. It's very interesting unit. I like the options. I like being able to build them any way I want. So abilities, the faction ability, Dark Pacts, we just talked about that. The ability to get lethal hits or sustained hits on them for maybe some mortal wounds. Depends on how good you are at resisting the Dark God's power. Veterans of the Long War. Each time a model in this unit targets an enemy unit with a melee attack, reroll a wound roll of 1. If the enemy unit is within range of an objective marker, you can reroll the wound roll instead. So these guys are going to be very effective in combat. They get to reroll 1s naturally to wound, and then they get to reroll all wounds if you're fighting for an objective, which is exactly what I want to be doing. I like that a lot of their troops choices are getting bonuses for taking objectives. They did that with the Eldar Guardians last edition, where in 9th edition they got bonuses for, like, the combat guys got reroll 1s to hit if they're fighting on an objective, and then the other Guardians got reroll 1s to hit when they're shooting when they're on objective. So I love that they're adding this to all the troop units, the traditional troop units, and it makes them have a very specific role of going in and being effective against a lot of different things and taking objectives off people, because they're also objective control too. Great design. I love it. So, War Gear abilities, Chaos Icon. Each time the bearer's unit takes a leadership test for the Dark Pack ability, you can reroll that test. Do you not like taking your mortal wounds when you take your leadership test? How about you just reroll it? Nice ability. I am a fan. So next up, we have another one. They keep showing us big boy data sheets, and I'm not disappointed today because we got Abaddon the Despoiler. Super cool leader of the Chaos Space Marines. Brings a bunch of the factions together to fight, and his rules do not disappoint. So he is 5-inch move, T5, 2-up save, 9 wounds, leadership 5+, and objective control 4. Pretty good stat line. I'm very happy with how he plays out. His core abilities, he has Deep Strike and he's a leader. So Deep Strike, he gets it just straight up Deep Strike if he wants to, which is nice. So you can drop him in and just bring him in midfield and be ready to go. The War Master. Oh, I love that they call these things very fluffy names. In your command phase, select one War Master ability, see left. Until the start of your next command phase, this model has that ability. Just like Gilliman, I love that you have the options. I'm happy about that. We'll go to the War Master abilities in just a sec. Dark Destiny, each time this model makes a Dark Pack and does not fail the resulting leadership test, roll 1d6 on a 2+, you gain a CP. So it's encouraging you to take Dark Packs even if you're not going to attack, just so you can get the extra CP. And 2d6 on a 5+, like the odds of you failing are pretty low. So it's almost a CP every turn. You'll probably fail it once per game. Not a big deal. I love it. So let's go over the War Master abilities real quick. So this is just like Gilliman. He has 3 different abilities. You get to pick one at the beginning of your command phase, and it's good until the next command phase. And you can change it up every turn. These big epic heroes having the flexibility to change their warlord trait, perfect. Makes you, again, with the options, you have flexibility. You have the options to do what you need to do to win the game. So first one is Paragonal Hatred. It's an aura. While a friendly Heretic Astartes unit within 6 inches of this model, each time a model in that unit makes an attack, you reroll the hit roll. First of all, an aura. So he doesn't have to be attached to a unit. He just gives this everyone around him. I'm glad that they kept auras as an idea and they're using it more sparingly, but this guy just makes everybody better. You are all rerolling hits around me. Let's go. All right, Mark of Chaos Ascendant, another aura. While a friendly Heretic Astartes infantry or Heretic Astartes mounted unit is within 6 inches of this model, models in that unit have a 4+ invulnerable save. So that's the first time we've seen the keyword mounted. So that's going to be your bikers or any other cavalry style units. So I like that they've added the keyword mounted. I like it because not everything fit under the cavalry rule. Things that were on bikes felt weird being cavalry. They're on a motorcycle. Like it's not exactly what you call it. So mounted, great keyword. I love it. Giving a 4+ invuln around you, that's pretty strong. Someone coming at you with a bunch of AP, let's just make everything a 4+ invuln. Let's go. So the third ability that he has access to is Lord of the Traitor Legions. While a friendly Heretic Astartes unit within 6 inches of the model, you can reroll leadership and battle shock text taken for that unit. That is a decent ability. Like if you know Tyranids are going to be battle shocking you, you can just use this every turn and just be like, they're going to pass all their leaderships. I don't care. So I personally like the first two much more, but the third one does have options against certain armies. If someone's going to try to scare the shit out of you somehow, this is what you want to use. Let's go ahead and take a look at his weapons. So the ranged weapon, he has the Talon of Horus, which has sustained hits 1. Now, if you give yourself sustained hits 1 again, I don't know if that becomes sustained hits 2. We'll find out when we get the core rules, but it is an option you have with the dark packs. So it has a 24-inch range, 4 attacks, hitting on 2, strength 5, -1, 2 damage. Mastercrafted Bolter at strength 5 is not bad at all. I'm okay with this. So the melee weapons, you have Drachnian and the Talon of Horus, both of which have devastating wounds. So wound rolls of 6 do mortal wounds instead. So Drachnian has 8 attacks, just a casual 8 attacks, hitting on 2, strength 14, -4, 3 damage. Damn. That's that's a lot. That's a lot. Now, the Talon of Horus is a melee weapon that has 14 attacks, 2 ups to hit, strength 7, -3, 1 damage. So you get double the attacks, you get like half the strength, minus an AP and only 1 damage. But if you're clearing hordes, might as well take all the attacks, you know what I mean? So again, very happy with this guy. I love how he looks. Every character has been cool so far, and I can't wait to see what other big characters we get, like maybe the Silent King tomorrow. Ooh, that'll be good. So, next up we have some weapons they revealed. So, the Bale Flamer is a weapon that is on the Helldrake. It's also on the Lord Discordant, and I can't remember if anyone else has the Bale Flamer, but we got the profile for it. So the Bale Flamer ignores cover Torrent. So Torrent is the auto hit mechanic. So all your hits are just going to automatically hit. You just roll for the number of hits you get. 12-inch range, D6 plus 3 attacks at strength 6 -1, 2 damage. That feels good. You are dealing some wounds real quick. This is really good against marine equivalents. Like they'll usually have a 4+ save, but you know, you're going to kill like 2 or 3 of them with this guy. I am a fan. So, flesh metal guns. This is the guns that the Obliterators have. You're going to have a chance to pick one of these 3 profiles to shoot with every time you fire. On top of that, if you dark pack, you can get some extra bonus rules on this, which feels really good. So, first one is the Focused Malice, which has the Melta 2 profile. So if you're in half range, which will be 12 inches, this is a 24-inch gun, you get +2 damage on your guns. So at 24 inches, it's D3 attacks, 3s to hit, Strength 12, -3, 4 damage. So if you get in that half range, you're at 6 damage per shot at strength 12. That's 4's the wound on a tougher thing like a Land Raider, but against most other smaller vehicles, you'd be wounded on 3s. That feels like a good profile. I'm a fan of it. And a strength 12 melt-a-gun essentially feels great. Ruinous Salvo. This one has Blast. So Blast hasn't been confirmed yet in an article, but according to the demo games that were played in Warhammer Fest, Blast is +1 attack for every 5 models in the unit. So this is a 24-inch range at D6 attack. So if it's a 5-man unit, you're D6 +1. 10-man, you're D6 +2. Hitting on 3, strength 8, -2, 2 damage. This feels like a great anti-marine equivalent profile. You're wounding on 2s, you get D6 attacks, -2 puts them on 5-up saves. I like it a lot. And then Warpale has sustained hits 1, so that is the exploding 6s in shooting. 24-inch range, D6 +3 attacks, hitting on 3, strength 5, -1, 1 damage. This is your horde clearer. Like even orcs will be taking a lot of wounds from this. So I like the obliterators. They seem about on par to what they were before. It depends on points, but I'm a big fan of them. I'm really hoping they're like T7 or something. They should be chunky boys. So finally, we have a stratagem. This is a very cool way to do this stratagem. So I talked about it last time where they have stratagems now that are like all right when you use them, but if you fulfill some sort of requirement, they're even better. So this one has to do with marks. Now they mentioned in the article that marks will be something you can take with any unit, and you can do Chaos Undivided or any of the 4 God marks, and you will be able to pick your marks. We don't know if they're going to cost points or anything, but you get bonuses based on what marks you use. So this one is a Nurgle stratagem. So using it in your opponent's shooting phase, just after an enemy unit has selected targets. So you target one of your own units, and until the phase, your unit has the stealth ability. So we don't know this one. If I were a guessing man, it would be -1 to be hit. So you get stealth, you get -1 to be hit. Already a great rule. In addition, if your unit is a Nurgle unit, until the end of the phase, your unit can only be selected as the target of a ranged attack if that attacking model is within 12. So stealth, -1 to be hit if you're just a regular unit. But if you're a Nurgle unit, all of a sudden you're not even being shot at within 12 inches. That's a great protection to have, especially for some sort of shooty unit. So this stratagem is great. It's only 1 CP too. So it really helps Nurgle out from being shot. I am a big fan of this style of thing. They have already said that they have 5 of these stratagems. This one and 4 more. 1 for Chaos Undivided and 1 for all 4 gods. I like how this has come out, and I cannot wait to see the other ones. As a big fan of Tzeentch, I can't wait to see the Tzeentch stratagem. But I like this dual mode stratagems. This means that you can have 2 stratagems in one essentially, and just give you a bonus for putting a little bit more work in for the second half of the stratagem. I can't wait to see a lot more of these stratagems. So that's going to be it for me today, guys. I had a lot of fun talking about Chaos Space Marines. Every time I do one of these faction focuses, I feel like I want to paint up that army. Like I'm literally in the middle of painting up some Termagants so I could test a scheme for when the new models come out. And now I'm like, oh man, I could pull out my Chaos Space Marines. I could start wrecking some people with that. I'm just a glutton for whatever fancy thing they have next, which means tomorrow I might be talking about how I want to play some Necrons now. That'll be the faction focus for tomorrow. So thank you for coming out. I had a blast as always. Don't forget to like and subscribe. It really helps me out a lot. And I'll catch you guys next time.